Welcome to Two Hypnotherapists Talking with me, Denise Billen-Mejia, in Delaware, USA.
And me, Martin Furber, in Preston, UK.
This weekly podcast is for anyone and everyone who'd like to know more about the fascinating subject of hypnosis and the benefits it offers.
I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and psychotherapist.
I'm a retired medical doctor turned consulting hypnotist.
We are Two Hypnotherapists Talking.
So let's get on with the episode.
Yeah, let's get on indeed. And I'm joined this week by Double D on this episode. We've got Denise Billen-Mejia, of course, my co-host, and we're joined by another Denise Oatley Hall, our good friend in America. Hi, Denise.
Hi. Hi.
In her car, driving somewhere. Anyway, Denise.
I'm sitting still.
No. Yeah, I know you're not irresponsible. Thank you. But you are still in your car. You did a very nice little radio segment for me on smoking, and we asked you if you could come and do the same thing on the podcast, because it is such a major issue and it is so obviously not good for people. So there is no upside to smoking, and so many people want to quit but don't believe they can. And you, with the help of the person that developed the program, have licked that problem, it seems. How many people have you helped stop smoking now?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, because I started using this program about a year and a half ago. I don't know. I'm working on getting up to 3 people a week, so you do the numbers.
Okay.
So a lot. It's growing as the word gets around, and people who stopped. I recently helped someone that was smoking 3 packs a day, and he can't believe it. And he texts me every now and then and goes, "I'm still smoke free." It's such a joy.
Yeah. Had he tried to stop using other methods?
Everyone has tried to stop using other methods. All the methods that will rarely work. I won't say never, because if you've decided you want to quit, you can quit. That's the biggest thing right there.
The cold turkeys who actually do it usually don't go back, but the patches and chewing gum and other things tend to be a problem. Yeah. So
because they don't address. Go ahead.
They don't address the original issue. What are the issues you think that keep people smoking? What kinds of emotional baggage are they addressing with cigarettes?
Well, the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest thing that is not addressed, that does get addressed when I work with them or other hypnotists work with them, is that their habit, not addiction, their habit has become, like most habits, an unconscious thing that runs them, and it's attached to activities. And so every time you get up in the morning, you have a coffee, you're triggered into want a cigarette. All those different things, but that's running like blinking. You don't think about that anymore. It's unconscious program. And so those are not addressed with patches and the scary medicines you can take, and they're just not addressed. And so people try to quit. They don't know how to get away from that drive that our subconscious mind is so powerfully doing. Does that make sense?
It does.
So I'm telling you nothing you don't know.
No, I'm an ex-smoker, Denise. I was 2 packs a day until about 10 years ago. And what surprised me when I stopped smoking was the fact that nicotine actually is not a relaxant, it's a stimulant. I didn't realize that, because of course people say, "Oh, why do you smoke?" "Oh, I smoke to relax." No, the breathing exercises that you do when you're smoking, that's what relaxes you. Inhale deeply, and that's what relaxes you. The nicotine doesn't, it's a stimulant.
That is the truth. And that is something I cover in the pre-call with them. And most people are surprised. And I help them differentiate between the breathing, like you just said. And actually, every smoker, just about, unless you're in your own home, has to take a break if they smoke. And it's the break you're taking. Also, people don't understand about the other thing that really is addictive that's in cigarettes. You guys know it.
Is that the ammonia that they put in them over there?
No, it's the sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah. And they go, sugar? And they say, first of all, the leaves are soaked in sugar water to begin with because it's bitter. And then I did some research. There are a couple companies that add up to 20% more sugar to the cigarette. Why? Because it's addictive. Sugar. Yeah.
I knew about ammonia, because when I used to smoke, if you smoked American cigarettes, they tasted of ammonia.
Oh wow, yeah. There's a lot of poisons in there, But once people understand what they've really been doing and what has been driving them, and they don't know it, then there's a shift. There's a shift that happens, and that helps them believe, well, maybe I can stop. And then when you're working, as you two know very well, with the subconscious mind, it's so much more suggestible, and you help align their programs to what they want now. Break up old programs that are running.
Right.
And everybody started smoking to get them something they wanted.
Right. When I asked the question originally, but the things I was thinking of with the 14-year-old that starts smoking and coughing his guts up, probably because they want to look cool, because and there's this link in this behavior or actually, when do I think of cars, or was I thinking of models draped on cars when I mean that the sort of the sexy aspect of smoking.
Well,
and it's not a conscious thought, it is a subconscious that these things drive people.
They do that subconscious a need either to get away from something, stress, Martin, or get to something, looking cool, feeling more grown up. Your subconscious mind is geared to getting you the thing that you want.
Yeah, I mean, I started smoking when I was about 14, and that was peer pressure.
Yeah.
Wanting to be in with the cool kids, wanting to belong. Yeah, that sense of belonging, absolutely it was.
Yeah.
And to a degree, that goes along with needing a smoking break, because you have a buddy go out with you to have your smoking break. How about we just have everybody take a break? That would be good. Not that I want to make it easier for people to continue to smoke, but just the idea of taking a break every hour or two, especially now we're all on screens all the time. You need to be off of your screen periodically.
Dee,
I talked to a lady yesterday. Go ahead.
Dee, sorry, can I ask you, Dee, did you ever smoke?
No.
No.
But I've lost 5 family members. Right, I lost my dad when I was only 21 to smoking.
Oh dear.
Right after that, I lost my grandmother. I lost my grandfather and my mother, and last year my brother, all to smoking.
And your brother only last year, even though we've known for so long how unhealthy it is. Yeah,
but he didn't stop, and he died of stage 4 lung cancer.
Oh dear.
Was it a delayed diagnosis?
Yeah, he went in because he wasn't feeling good. He thought he might have COVID, and it was worse. Yeah, it was worse. So I'm on the other side. I know what it feels like to say goodbye to your dad when you're only 21 and just married. And people don't think about that. They really don't. They glance over it, but they can't afford to think about it if they want to stay smoking. Their loss affect.
Your dad must have been very young.
He was 55.
Yeah, way too young.
I mean, it's when I think now about smoking over the years over here in England, originally I can remember as a child, the health warnings at the bottom, it was just smoking can damage your health. And then it became, bigger and fiercer in the messages, smoking kills, say it as it is. And of course, all the advertising's been stopped for about 20 years. I mean, I can well remember when we used to smoke on aeroplanes. Do you want smoking or non-smoking?
Didn't matter. It was still circulating around you anyway, even if you didn't smoke.
Yeah.
Yes.
But over here, and I mean, I think the most recent figures was 9% of adults in the UK now smoke. If you go back 30 years, it was probably about 35-40%. So
yeah.
Well, that's still an awful lot of smokers in the UK that could benefit from hypnotherapy to stop smoking.
Right.
And there's lots more that are undercover smokers. I can't tell you how many people I've seen that we're so thrilled to stop, but they will never give me a testimony because they didn't want anybody to know
Anybody
they
know
ever
they used to.
smoked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the joke we have over here in the UK about America. If you pull a gun out, nobody pays a blind bit of notice, but pull a cigarette out and they're like, ooh!
It's true. It's kind of true. It really is. Yeah, that is
So
true.
when you screen your clients, people call
Yeah.
you, they want to quit smoking, what kind of questions do you ask them in order to be sure they really do want to? I mean,
Well,
I
I
take it
listen-
you only want to have people who are serious, right?
I only have people most of the time. Sometimes I make mistakes, but I try to have only people who are serious. I ask them on a scale of 1 to 10 how serious they are to stop. I had a guy told me the other day too, said, "Oh, you're not ready.
No.
You're not ready."
And he knew it because he was honest.
Yeah, thank goodness. But I listen to what they're saying and how they're saying it, and what it is they're saying. I'll ask them how many packs they've smoked. I'll ask them where they smoke. I'll ask them if they can remember when they first started, why they started. I'll ask them what their motivation is. And when I hear them say something like, well, my wife wants me to.
Yeah.
No. Or, I know I should. That is not someone who's ready to stop. When I hear them say things like, I'm sick of it. I ask them, is smoking your friend? And talk to them about that. And they go, smoking is not my friend. I know that. And I inform them like we were just talking about. And when they're saying, I want this for me, that's my person.
Yeah.
That's my person.
Because
they're done.
I mean, I don't do too many stop smoking clients. It's not something I've ever sort of pushed myself forward for. Weight loss is my thing. But when I have done it, it's the same thing. People have got to be really motivated to want to stop. And I get them to tell me all the reasons why they want to stop. And then this person is motivated. And in that sense...
And also because then they hear it out loud when they're telling you.
Yeah.
Which is good for them.
True.
Yeah.
Good point, Denise.
But also our expertise as hypnotherapists then reaffirms everything they've said to them and helps them. Obviously, otherwise they wouldn't need us, but they do. And that's where hypnosis really comes in to its own to help people quitting smoking. Gives them that final push.
It really does. And one of the things I love about this method is that it's very thorough as far as it not only breaks up all of the associations, it creates a new craving, not an addiction, a new craving like they used to crave a cigarette long ago when they were a smoker. It's always long ago when you were a smoker in the past. Now your craving is to breathe fresh air. You love to breathe fresh air. And they begin to crave that. You replace the craving they had with a new one that's healthy for them. And other things that they've told you they want to be able to do. Like people tell me they want to be able to travel and walk up hills be able to breathe. So we give them images of that. Now you crave fresh air. You're walking up the hill. You feel, that kind of thing.
Is cost a big things in terms of cigarettes over there? Are they expensive in America, cigarettes?
Not
They're
expensive
not
enough.
as expensive as they are. Yeah, no, not as elsewhere, like in Australia and England.
I think the average is about $7 a pack now, somewhere in that range. Depends on what state you're in.
Yeah, if you live near a Native American reservation, you can get them really cheap, and $4 a pack. And if money is the person's only reason for stopping, they're also not my client. Not enough.
No, you've got to want to do it for the health. I mean, with me, it was that I'd got to the point I couldn't even get up the stairs. I was gasping for breath.
Well, and you still have residual issues, probably because of your smoking, right?
Oh yeah,
you can cut that out if you want to.
No, absolutely. No, I do. I mean, I was an idiot for starting in the first place with having asthma, and now, of course, now I have asthma, COPD, and bronchiectasis. So, as my punishment for it.
And you've been smoke-free how long? 10 years?
10 years.
Yeah.
10 years last month. It was April 2013 I stopped.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. How did you, now you weren't using hypnosis at that point. How did you,
No.
you just said, okay, I've got to stop this or I'm going to be dead. Was that
I'd reached a particular, well, I'll say it doesn't matter, it's in the public domain. It was the weekend I had to go and clear out my mother's bedroom. She died a couple of months before. And I remember sitting outside in the car, lighting up another cigarette and thinking to myself, if I could stop this today, this is the lowest I've ever felt in my life. If I can get through the rest of today without a cigarette, I'll never touch another one. And voila.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a great decision. That was powerful.
Yeah, that was it. That was the lowest point. I'd never felt so bad in my life. You know, it was the worst thing I have ever had to do was go and clear out of things, of personal things. But ironically, in reverse, my mother never touched a cigarette in her life until she was 44, and then she started smoking.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I talked with a woman the other day who didn't start till she was 35.
Yeah.
And she started because at work, all the other people, all the other women were going out to have a smoke break, and she was left inside to do more work.
Yeah.
They left her, and one day she just decided, I'm going to go have a cigarette and not do that work. And that's how it started.
Yeah. And isn't it strange that you couldn't just say, I'm going on a break and walk around the block?
Yeah.
It's somehow socially acceptable still. It's less socially acceptable. Now they make people sit in little cabins. You know, the big hospitals, you see people crowded around the entrance, and now they have to go and sit in a contained space, doubling their nicotine.
Or, you know, at the theme parks now, you can't walk around smoking. And I know at Busch Gardens, which is near where it's in my town, they have these smoking areas. They're not remote. They're little things, and they're where everybody walks by. And I can't help but thinking it's like going by animals in a cage. They're the smokers, and it's embarrassing. You know, I feel bad for them when I walk by because it's like they're on display.
Yes, but remember, it is their choice to smoke. I mean, that's people need to remember that is. Yeah.
It is, but you know, Martin, you
ably assisted by the tobacco industry, which forced many people to
that, which spends billions of dollars. I picked a client who stopped recently, gave me their pack of cigarettes, and I never seen one like it, and I can't remember the verbiage exactly, but they were all natural, organic, and you know the whole pack.
Oh, just like arsenic can be. I mean, it's not.
But look at how subtle this is. And there was writing on the package that basically said, even though this looks harmless, this will still kill you. But it was phrased in such a way that it was so tricky.
Yeah.
We had a similar thing over here a few years ago, a brand of cigarettes, probably 20 years ago now, a brand of cigarettes, and it said sun-dried organic tobacco. Again, you know, immediately conjuring up, you know,
tomatoes.
Something nice and healthy. And then, of course, I don't know if you had them in the States. Again, about 15 years ago, they brought out cigarettes where in the filter there was a little flavor pellet that you popped.
Oh, yeah.
And it added flavor. It was like, let's make smoking fun for kids again. You know, it was.
that was made illegal here.
Yeah, and here too, and quite right too.
Well, they're about to make menthol illegal here. They're on the verge of doing that because the cigarette companies are targeting teens, women, and people of color with the menthol. That's their target.
Well, again, with menthol cigarettes, it conjures up in the imagination, it must be healthier.
Fresh air.
Menthol. Well, fresh
clear,
air.
crisp.
Do you know how they create the menthol taste in the cigarettes? It's a flavor that they inject into the foil that goes around them inside the pack.
Oh my gosh!
There's no menthol leaf inside the cigarette or anything. No. It's a perfume that's injected into the silver foil, which puts the flavor inside the cigarette. They're just regular cigarettes with a menthol fragrance.
Well,
that is crazy.
we've all agreed this is supposed to be about hypnosis. We've all agreed it's not a good idea. Why don't you, Denise, what is the name of the program that you use with your clients?
Michael Wellahan's of Australia. It's his system that I use.
Okay. And it takes how many sessions? It says
one.
Like she doesn't know.
One session that's about between 2 and 1.5 hours.
Okay.
Very intense.
So they walk out of your door, and it's usually in person, but it can be done on Zoom, right? They walk away from that session, not non-smokers.
Non-smokers, and they know it. They feel it. I ask them a bunch of questions, and you should see the looks on their faces when I ask them the questions, like, because the answers come out automatically because it's their truth now, and they're like, yeah, they are. They're so surprised.
I can't believe I said that.
They can
Do you offer another loaded question, because I know the answer? Do you offer any kind of guarantee that this will work?
I do. I offer a lifetime guarantee that if at any time after you see me, you feel like, and you used all the different things I give you, feel like you want another cigarette, you pick up the phone and call me. 365 days of the year, and I will help you stay a non-smoker for the rest of my life. My guarantee is good till I lose the earth.
That's
Don't change your phone number.
Jason Lynette, lifetime guarantee, yours or mine, whichever comes first.
Yeah. There you go.
So Denise, are you welcoming people to contact you to find out how to learn, those of us who are watching this who are hypnotists and want to offer this program? Do you teach the program, or do you know where people can get trained?
I do not teach the program, but Michael does, Wellahan, and I will give you that information also.
Good. So
below this on YouTube. Website. Yeah. You can go to his website, Michael Wellahan.
And if you are a smoker and you want help, Denise is only in Florida and a phone call away. And she's already got the program.
That's right.
Do you have anything else you want to say about smoking? And then we're going to ask you a bunch of other stuff about you.
No, I guess I could go on and on about smoking, but no.
How did you find hypnosis? Because you've had a pretty varied career. The little I've known about you in these meetings that we go to together. What were you in your first career life? What was your first career? Oh my God.
My very first career was at 10 years old selling Christmas cards door to door. I think it was on a bubblegum wrapper, and I thought, I like that. I want money. I'm going to call it. I ordered it and took it around. But I have been so many different things, done so many different things. I'm an award-winning artist. I've sold my art across the state. I've been a professional clown for 25 years. That was what I was doing before I became a hypnotist. Worked on a quarter-horse farm for 8 years. Was a phlebotomist and a medical lab technician. You should know that this sounds crazy. I could add in astronaut or whatever, but I'm old. So, of course, I've had time to do a lot of different things.
Also, as a mutual friend of all three of us, often says, she says, nobody sort of leaves school and says, I want to be a hypnotherapist, do they? It seems to be a career development or second career for most of us.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it does help. It does help to have some life experience, because you're going to be talking to people from all walks of life. So I don't, but at the same time, if my kids suddenly decided they've all established careers already, so they would still come to it from a second area. Had I been a hypnotist earlier, maybe I would have leaned them that way, because I think it is so useful if you want to work in medical area. Yep. So what kind of hypnosis did you practice first? What was, because most of us have had many different trainings. After a few years, we collect information, little sponges.
I'm thinking, I worked with people, especially the method that I used then, because Jerry's pretty much was all regression to cause, that kind of thing. So I help people solve anxiety problems or just very light stuff. And the more training I got and the more diversified that I got, then I started to specialize. I like weight loss a lot because I am adamant that we stop dieting forever. I'm as passionate about that as I am about
But
people
it's
stopping
because
smoking.
it's again, it's corruption of a word. The word diet just means that which you habitually eat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But dieting is a
Yeah.
whole different word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just harmful to everybody, but especially women. It really comes down on women, but it's harmful to everybody. It doesn't work.
Mm.
So I, started working on that during the pandemic over Zoom.
Do you do predominantly Zoom or predominantly in person now?
I do some of both, really. It
Okay.
depends on the person. If they want to come, I see people in my home.
Mhm.
If they want to come and they're nearby, then that's fine with me. But sometimes they're more comfortable with Zoom or they're far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it amazing actually how people have got used to Zoom because of the pandemic. I have clients that live literally, well, I had one literally 2 miles away who preferred Zoom.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah,
prefer Zoom.
and they don't have to drive.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
it does. Absolutely it does. I mean, we've said it many times. There are many advantages to doing it online.
Mhm.
The first and foremost one, people are comfortable and more relaxed in their own surroundings always.
Exactly.
Just not to have to
Exactly.
fight
That
with.
is-
You're all relaxed at the hypnotist, then you've got to get in your car and get all agitated by traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under all the
It's
work
like
we're
going
doing.
and getting. It's like going and getting a really nice massage, and then have to go deal with the
Yeah.
world.
Right. That's why those in-home massages are so great.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just say bye-bye and go to your
Yeah.
bed.
So what other kind of things do you see people for in general, Denise? Is it, as well as stop smoking and weight loss, is it a lot of stress and anxiety, or is it maybe sort of things people want mental rehearsal for future things that they're going to do, mindsets? Or...
Yeah. I've seen people for stage fright. I do phobias, a lot of phobias.
Mhm.
And recently I've been helping somebody who had a concussion and has balance issues, and that seems to have gotten better for him. So anything that affects your mindset. People come in with different things. I've been seeing people with sleep issues, and that's kind of new for me. Have you guys worked with sleep issues?
Sleep, even people don't realize that they have a sleep issue. When they come to me for X, Y, or Z, the second session, the first thing they say usually is, I'm sleeping so much better. You get used to what, I don't sleep well, so that must be the way the world is. And then all of a sudden they get a good night's sleep and realize how much better they feel.
Yeah, I come from the angle of everything to do with how we are feeling. Mental health starts with a good night's sleep. Once we get in the habit of sleeping 7-8 hours a night, good quality sleep, everything else is so much easier to deal with. All my clients get a recording to listen to every night at bedtime, to help them with their sleep and to help them get the right kind of sleep, and then we take the work on from that.
Wow, that's a great idea, Martin.
Yeah, that's how I do it. It's after the initial consultation, before I see them for the first trance session, they've got to listen to the recording every night for a week. It gets them used to my voice. It gets them used to my voice, and so they're more amenable then to hypnosis. But also they sleep better. They're already feeling better because they're sleeping better.
And that's the goal, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
For them to feel better and be better.
Yeah, that's it. Whatever the presenting issue is, people want to feel better in themselves.
Right.
Yeah. It's
so
exciting.
where do you see your practice going now? But are you going to, obviously you've got this goal, you want to see, help what's his name? Whatever his name is, get to his 25,000 people. Yeah.
Yeah. That's part of my goal too. But I am expanding my practice, offering that. I'm also going to start training hypnotists. I'm rehauling my website, and I'm moving in, and I'm also going into doing more speaking. Writing a book isn't everyone. And I want
Martin in particular.
Oh, okay. Martin, what are you writing, Martin?
That was a dig. Sorry, sorry, Martin.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks for that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I started to write my book.
And he's almost finished, but
it's two chapters short and has been since last December. I was trying to rush it out. I was trying to rush it out ready for Christmas. And then I got stuck with, a bit of a mental block on the last two chapters. Thought, put it down, go back to it. And then I've just been so busy since then. This year has just been unbelievably busy for me. I've got a waiting list. Sounds good. Yeah, it is. I'm not complaining, but I've got a waiting list for clients at the moment.
Oh my gosh, I need to talk with you. I'd like a waiting list.
So it's just got put back. So I'm aiming for this year's Christmas market with that one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you got to have a goal. That's it.
Now you have another person who's going to ask you about that. How's the last chapters going?
I think you've had a lot of new stuff that you've been sort of onboarding in the last few months. I think things are good. Yeah. You'll be busy, but I think things will become more organized for you, so that you'll see some areas where you'll be able to dedicate some time to writing. That's the key. Right. You have to really, when you get up in the morning, that's what you want to be doing. That's what your career needs to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I'm the same in terms of clients. When the days I've got clients to see either face to face or on Zoom, I look forward to each one. I absolutely do. But then I think, do I wish I'd trained to be a hypnotherapist 20 years ago? In one way, yes, but in another, no, because it's something you hit on, Denise, before, when you said about we need the life experience, I think, to be the best in this profession. I think so. I think that life experience makes us better hypnotherapists.
Absolutely. I agree. You bring everything you've ever done into it. When I used to work with horses, you have to learn to listen and watch horses. What great skill that I brought into my hypnosis practice.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, now we've got another podcast coming up with Sharon Waxkirsch, and she was talking about hypnotizing dogs. And so I mentioned, well, that's not as off the wall as it might sound, because people have been doing it with horses for years, horse whispering.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a form of hypnosis, surely.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
And it's great for, teaching you observation. Because when you have a horse, a stallion, you want to be observant.
Yeah.
You want to know what that animal is thinking by looking in their eyes and noticing how they're holding their legs and shaking their head. They're talking to you. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely they are. Yeah. But as I say, it's the conversation on that one. It was when Sharon mentioned it, and she said it as if it was off the wall, and I thought, no, it's not. We've been horse whispering for ages.
Yeah.
She had asked us a dog for surgery, I think, and that's what she was talking about. So I don't want to steal the thunder from the next when her episode comes out, but yeah. Not that we think all of us should go and be hypnotists for dogs, but she's working with a particular vet. So. Right, my dear, I think we should let you go because you've still got 3 hours of driving ahead of you before you can rest. So thank you for stopping by the road.
Thank you for having me on. This has been a delight to talk to both of you.
It's been great, Denise. Thank you so much for coming on.
We hope you've enjoyed listening. Please remember, this podcast is designed to give you an insight into therapeutic hypnosis and is for educational purposes only. So remember, consult with your own healthcare professional if you think something you've heard may apply to you or a loved one.
If you found this episode useful, you can apply for free continuing professional development or CME credits using the link provided in the show notes. Feel free to contact either of us through the links in the show notes. Join us again next week.